Now batting for the Yankees, number 2, Derek Jeter. Number 2.
Jeter's last game here at Rogers Center as a member of the New York Yankees. Jeter will retire after 20 seasons in Yankee pinstripes, and he was honored in a pregame ceremony and presented a gift from the Blue Jays by Jose Bautista and Mark Burley. And it has been an honor to watch Derek Jeter for the last 20 years. A lot of fans here came for this sole purpose of watching Jeter's last game at Rogers Center. Well, this is the rubber game of this 3-game set. Let's take a look at the lineup. It is Brett Gardner, top of the order. Then Derek Jeter against Jay Happ. He's 7 for 14 against Jay Happ. A couple of home runs and 3 RBIs against the lefty. And then down in the 7th spot, Francisco Cervelli against the Blue Jays this year has hit 438. He was also homered against Jay Happ the last time he faced the Blue Jays back in July in New York.
That is a lineup that Jay Happ will take to the mound and face this afternoon, looking for his first win since July the 22nd. That was against the Red Sox. He struggled over his last 3 starts, giving up 11 earned runs. Part of the problem, Blue Jays have only been scoring 3 or fewer runs in 5 of his last 8 starts. They've been struggling offensively. Jay has pitched A-OK, struck out 8 batters in his last start.
Jay Happ is set. Brett Gardner will step in. He continues to hit in the absence of Jacoby Ellsbury in that leadoff spot. Ellsbury sprained his ankle here on Friday night. Hasn't played since. Here's the first pitch of the game. It is outside, and we are underway. 25 degrees here at Rogers Center. The roof is open. It's an overcast day, but there aren't to be showers here today. There's a ball hit deep to right field. Bautista will watch this one sail over the wall. A leadoff home run for Brett Gardner. His 16th of the season.
Gardner leads American League leadoff hitters in home runs. He's also set a career high in home runs for a season.
Number 2, Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter steps in. His final game at Rogers Center. Swings at the first pitch and misses. 1-0 New York. Brett Gardner with his 5th leadoff home run of the season. Hit up the middle. Jeter singles to start his game. Back-to-back hits off of Jay Happ. Mentioned Jeter 7 for 14 off of Happ for his career. Now 8 for 15. So back-to-back hits to start the game. Martin Prado moves into the 3rd spot in the order. Prado has hit 6th in this lineup. He's hit 3rd on Friday night.
What an addition to this offense and the defense Martin Prado has brought. He's hit over 350 since he has come over in that trade.
Prado is playing in his 28th game since picked up at the July 31st trade deadline.
There are his last 14 games, 9 extra base hits and 10 RBIs. Yankees have needed someone to get them going offensively. They were stymied yesterday by both Hutchison and Sanchez.
Jay Happ, we mentioned he has been struggling of late, but he really hasn't pitched that poorly. When you look at his last start against the Yankees on the 27th of July, gave up 2 home runs in that game. Chase Headley and Francisco Cervelli both homered.
I thought he did a good job in his last start against the Boston Red Sox. 6 innings, 3 runs. He had 8 strikeouts through 111 pitches in that ball game. still had a no decision because the Blue Jays just have had trouble scoring runs for Jay.
Blue Jays have scored 7 runs in his last 6 starts.
Tough to win any ball games. Again, he hasn't won since July the 22nd.
Foul back out of play. Jay was not originally in the starting rotation. He began the season on the disabled list. He pitched the first 3 times out of the bullpen. And then he made his first start on May 5th at Philadelphia's former ball club and beat them 3-0. Jeter at first. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the ground. Reyes, Kawasaki, Encarnacion, double play. The Super Slow-Mo is brought to you by Jose Cuervo, the world's best-selling tequila. Have a story with Jose Cuervo.
Brett Gardner wanted to drive the ball just a little bit more this year, try to hit more home runs, and he has succeeded at that. This is the pitch from Happ. Looked like a fastball over the middle of the plate. Home run number 16 for Brett Gardner, up and away. 16 home runs now as a leadoff batter, 3rd most in Major League Baseball.
Gardner's previous high in home runs was 8. Now he has accomplished what he set out to do, hit more homers. Mark Teixeira, switch hitter, batting right-handed, takes one down and in. It's a ball and a strike on Teixeira. Teixeira hits out of that slightly open stance. It's been a down year for Teixeira. He hooks that one foul. 226 for the season. He leads the Yankees with 20 home runs. And they're no longer the Bronx Bombers. Generally, you think of the Yankees having somebody that's threatening 50 during a season.
Yeah, easily. And it's been a rough road trip for Tex. Just 2 for 20 on this trip.
He strikes out. Navarro holds on to the foul tip. Happ is through the first inning, but he gives up a leadoff home run to Brett Gardner. His 6th career leadoff homer, 5th this season. They followed behind 1-0 after the top half of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays lineup for John Gibbons today. Jose Reyes in his familiar leadoff spot. Melky Cabrera, the former Yankee, against Brandon McCarthy, has 4 hits and 9 at-bats, including a pair of home runs. They came as a Yankee early on in his career. Adam Lind in the cleanup spot. Lind leads Major League Baseball with a .353 average against right-handed pitching, and he is in against a good right-hander today, Brandon McCarthy.
Sinker baller Brandon McCarthy will take the ball this afternoon. He struggled in his last outing, taking the loss against the Tigers on Tuesday, allowing 5 runs, 9 hits, 6 1/3 innings. Overall this season, after he came over from Arizona, 8-13 with a .413 earned run average. 7 career appearances versus the Blue Jays, including 4 starts. He's 1-2 against Toronto.
Brandon McCarthy is 31 years old. He was originally drafted by the Chicago White Sox in 2002. He was a 17th round pick. He's done well for himself. Here's the first pitch to Reyes. It's in there for a strike. Reyes 285 on the season. There's an off-speed pitch. Interesting, you look at the Yankees defense, and they're as straight away as you can get. Reyes only has 4 at-bats against Brandon McCarthy, so there's not much track record to go on, so they're going to play it straight away.
He is a ground ball pitcher, sinker, slider. He changes speeds with his pitches, and when he is on, he'll get his share of ground ball outs.
3-3 for his career in 10 games. This is foul back. Brandon McCarthy, as we mentioned, originally signed by the White Sox. He was traded to the Texas Rangers in December of 2006 with David Paisano for Jake Rasner, John Danks, and Nick Massett, who was supposed to be a big-time relief pitcher. He never really panned out. Bouncing ball. Headley gets a big hop. There's one ground ball out for McCarthy. Defensively, a couple changes in the outfield. Zealous Wheeler makes his first start in left field. Brett Gardner is in center, and Carlos Beltran's in right. Chase Headley, a former Gold Glover, is at third base. Stephen Drew moves back to shortstop. Prado's at second. Teixeira, a 5-time Gold Glover. And Francisco Cervelli starting for the 32nd time behind the plate.
Third game of the series, third different start for a different position for Martin Prado. Third base on Friday, left field yesterday, second base today. Yankees have used 7 different players to start a game at second base this year. Remember that guy named Robinson Cano?
Yeah, it cost a lot of money to keep him. Melky Cabrera takes one outside. Melky's had a fine season, still over 300. Bouncing ball, Prado. A couple of ground ball outs. That'll bring Jose Bautista to the plate with nobody on and 2 outs, but that's not a problem for Jose. He has come through 4 straight games with a homer.
And there's something about the first time he is up in a ball game. He has that knack this year of driving the ball out of the ballpark. Here, all of them yesterday against Big Michael Pineda takes that slider. That's his 11th home run since the All-Star break. And he is in one of those home run grooves right now.
Oh, he sure is. He's not missing his pitch when he gets it. First pitch fastball. Brandon McCarthy, a sinker ball pitcher. Bautista's only had 1 at bat against McCarthy's 0 for 1. Hits another ground ball. McCarthy has that sinker working early. 3 ground ball outs in the first inning on just 9 pitches. Many free agents the Yankees signed in the offseason. He signs a 3-year contract for $45 million. And you look at the money the Yankees spent in the offseason. Tanaka, Ellsbury, McCann, and Beltran all brought in you give the Yankees a shot at the postseason, and right now it's a very shaky proposition.
Yeah, they've got to get hot, and they've got to stay hot for a couple of weeks. Tanaka got off to a great start, but he's been injured. He's been shut down. Who knows if he's going to be able to pitch again this year. Ellsbury's done a great job, and he was injured in the first game in this series. He's out again today. McCann has done his part, hitting home runs and handling this pitching staff. Beltran, he's had some injuries this year, the elbow injuries that have really set him back and basically made him a DH this year.
Brian McCann is out of the lineup today. When you think about the commitment the Yankees have made, Tanaka signed through 20, Ellsbury through 20, McCann through 18, Beltran through 16. And oh, by the way, CC Sabathia, A-Rod, and Brett Gardner all signed 16, 17, and 18 respectively. The Yankees have made a big commitment over the next 2 seasons. Next year, their salaries already are at $169, and in 16 they're at $170. That's a heavy load. Those are millions, folks, millions.
Yeah, 160, not 160,000.
Beltran chases that off-speed pitch and strikes out.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the all-new 2015 Acura TLX. Experience the thrill today at your local Acura dealer. And by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Beautiful shot of downtown Toronto. The CN Tower and Rogers Center right next to one another. Chase Headley. Next one downstairs. Headley had a homer here on Friday night off Dustin McGowan in the 9th inning. Little insurance home run for Headley. Fouls this one back. We mentioned Headley hit a home run off of Jay Happ on Sunday, the 27th of July. Headley and Cervelli went back-to-back in the 5th inning of that ball game. The Yankees would eventually lose that game 5-4. Aaron Sanchez picked up his first win in that game at Yankee Stadium. Off the end of the bat. That ball had a lot of English on it. Happ tosses to Encarnacion for the out. Jay Happ has really discovered the value of his fastball, and he's used it accordingly.
73% of the time he is going to use that fastball. Now he is cutting it a little bit better, I think, this year. The changeup, he's using that 9% of the time. I think the whole thing about Jay Happ is he's using the fastball, yes, and he's throwing it in a good spot. But I think his curveball has been very underrated. He's been spinning a very good one this season, and he has combined that with the fastball to get the job done. When he falls behind in the count, I think that's the key for him. He's got to jump ahead. When he falls behind, both Brandon McCarthy and Jay Happ, you can put him in that category. They're the 2 worst in baseball. What batters are hitting against him when they fall behind in the count? McCarthy 388, Jay Happ right behind him at 387. So he has to get ahead.
Something to keep an eye on today. He gets ahead of Cervelli and misses with the second pitch. It's a ball and a strike. Cervelli playing for the first time in 4 games. He has 9 hits in his last 38 at bats, just 1 for 4 on his road trip. Had a hamstring strain early in the season, missed 55 games. Drives this ball to center. Rasmus back at the track, at the wall, jumps, it's over his glove. Cervelli is headed for third. Cabrera gets it back into Kawasaki, and Francisco Cervelli just missed the home run by about a foot in center.
That ball was scalded to center field. It looked like Colby Rasmus had a beat on it down in the outfield. He's tall, he's got long arms. You think he has a shot at it. He's right at the wall, and he jumps and actually runs right into the wall, and that stops him from elevating.
He jumped into the wall and didn't elevate. You're right. Instead of getting to the wall and going straight up, he would have had a shot at that. So it's a triple with 2 outs. Cervelli is at third. Stephen Drew, the shortstop this afternoon. He goes after the first pitch and hits it right to our left.
You know, that's the tricky part, Buck, on this field, where the warning track is the same type of turf, the synthetic turf. And as an outfielder, you really have no idea where that fence is. You've got to really rely on your corner outfielders to help you, let you know where that wall is. And I think that's where Colby had his problems.
That's a great point. Even on artificial surfaces in the past, they would have dirt warning tracks, and you think about running back, and you can feel the difference once you step onto the warning track. In years past, it used to be cinders, and you could actually hear the difference.
Yep. And you know, as an outfielder, once you start feeling that different texture, you know how many steps you have before you get to the wall. Colby didn't look like he knew where he was and actually ran into the wall.
Well, Jay Happ is able to pitch around that 2-out triple with another strikeout. He's got 3 strikeouts. When we come back, it'll be Adam Lind, a .353 average against right-handed pitching in Encarnacion and Navarro. Jays down by a run. Insiders cover every angle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Follow Shai Davidi with in-depth analysis and expert opinion. Shai Davidi, MLB Insider only on Sportsnet.ca, and you can bet all the insiders will be busy today with the trade deadline looming. 11:59 tonight. If you haven't made a trade, those players acquired after that won't be eligible to play for you in the postseason. We've got some news today. Adam Dunn has been acquired by the Oakland Athletics from Chicago. Of course, yesterday, Chicago sent Alejandro De Aza to the Baltimore Orioles. Kelly Johnson went from Boston to Baltimore, so the Orioles are fortifying their situation prior to the trade deadline.
How about Kelly Johnson playing for every team in the American League East right now?
Yeah, that's a pretty good run, huh? Guess he knows all the pitchers. But the Orioles certainly obviously have a great shot. They have the biggest lead in the division since 1997. They have been down, of course, but now they're back to their former ways.
Is that for the Orioles? The Orioles
for the Orioles.
For the Orioles, the biggest lead.
The Orioles' biggest lead since '97. They have an 8-game lead over the Yankees in the AL East. Encarnacion will be next. We mentioned Lynn's average against right-handed pitching like McCarthy is .353. That's the best in the majors. Ground ball. Prada was out in shallow right field. Brandon McCarthy, 4 ground ball outs so far.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the all-new 2015 Acura TLX. Experience the thrill today at your local Acura dealer.
Edwin Encarnacion steps in with 1 out. He has a home run against Brandon McCarthy. He's 2 for 7 in their head-to-head meetings.
A little cutter right there from McCarthy, down and away from Edwin. When he keeps the ball down and changes speeds like that, as a hitter, very tough to time him up.
Another ground ball. Prado this time on the shortstop side of second. That's 5 straight ground ball outs.
I'd have to say that he's got the sinker working. He is staying down in the strike zone.
That is great observation. He's got that sinker working. Blue Jays going to have to be a little more patient. See if they can't get those pitches up a little bit above the knees.
He threw a shutout 10 days ago against the Houston Astros, where he had the same type of thing working. 9 innings, 4 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts. Mixing in a curveball, mixing in the slider, the sinker. Works very quickly, throws a lot of strikes.
Yadier Navarro takes the first pitch ball downstairs. Navarro's done a good job for the Blue Jays. 277 for the season, a career high in RBIs, and just 3 off his career high in home runs. There's a base hit. Center field. Navarro reaches for the first time for a J here.
He fell behind again. And again, he's got the worst opponent's batting average when behind in the count. Minimum 400 pitches, 388 batting average, 1-0 fastball right there. And Navarro knew what to do with it.
Well, if you're Francisco Cervelli and you're catching McCarthy, you got to sit in the middle of the plate and have him throw that sinker down the middle. See if you can't get ahead. I'm trying to be too fine with Kobe Erasmus back in the lineup. First pitch breaking ball, and then he jumps ahead. Kevin Pillar had started 4 straight games. Rasmus had not played since August 25th on Monday, so Pillar gets the start of this one off for the time being. There goes the runner, and Navarro has his second stolen base. The element of surprise.
They were playing behind Deanna Navarro. Extreme pull hitter and Colby Rasmus, and the Yankees first baseman Mark Teixeira likes to play behind him, and now Navarro's going to pick up on that and try and time it. McCarthy heads home on 1 look, and Navarro's got a second stolen base.
Yeah, second stolen base of the year for Navarro. He gets himself into scoring position with 2 outs. Colby Rasmus, an 0-2 count. Fouls it off the catcher's glove. Again, Tim Leeper over at first. He will encourage the guys, hey, he's not paying any attention to you. We're not scoring many runs right now. Let's take a gamble. He did it with Valencia yesterday and forced Pineda into a balk.
Into a balk in that ball game, the same way here. So I think the Yankees were playing it correctly with the extreme pull hitter and Rasmus and not a lot of speed at first. Teixeira just needs to cut it down just a little bit and stay a little closer.
It all doesn't matter as Rasmus strikes out. The Blue Jays leave a runner in scoring position. We'll go to the 3rd. New York with a 1-0 lead. Listen to live audio, follow games pitch by pitch, and enjoy in-game video highlights. The app is available on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Android, and BlackBerry. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. Great afternoon. Another sold-out crowd here. They have all been over 40,000. Friday night had 43,318. Yesterday afternoon, the 11th sellout of the season, 45,863. And it's going to be a same full house here this afternoon. Yankees lead at 1-0.
For a great day. A chance to see Derek Jeter for the last time. Didn't they pass out some T-shirts today?
The old baseball long-sleeve Blue Jays T-shirt that we've been talking about for a while. And lots of fans have put them on right away. Zealous Wheeler will step in. He is batting 9th. He's in left field. Wheeler making his first start in left field this afternoon.
He's got some pop in that bat now. If you make a mistake, think he's batting 9th down in that lineup. I'm going to just throw a fastball over the middle. He can hurt you.
Yankees had quite a spring training with their extra players. A lot of guys really had great springs, and Wheeler was one of them. He didn't mean to, tried to check his swing and lifts a pop-up. Kawasaki is out, makes the catch, 1 down. Well, it's that time of the year as we're playing the final day of August here, and the wild card standings really become important now. Oakland has slipped behind the Angels in the AL West. They have a 4-game cushion for that first wild card spot. Then the Tigers and the Royals are tied both atop the Central Division and in the wild card race. Seattle has had more than their share of Nationals lately. Steven Strasburg beat them yesterday. Cleveland's red hot right now, and they're getting great pitching, and the Yankees are 3.5 tied with the Indians. Blue Jays remain 6 back in that wild card race.
Have you had a chance to check in on the Oakland and the Los Angeles Angels series?
Yeah, how about that?
Wow,
great baseball, huh?
Great baseball. Great pitching, timely hitting, some controversy, but intense baseball.
Well, you'll see all those playoff games on Sportsnet, of course, and big games down the stretch. Blue Jays will be off tomorrow as they will resume action on Tuesday night from St. Petersburg as they take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Brett Gardner with the leadoff home run, his 6th career leadoff home run, the 5th time he's gone deep starting a ball game this season. Fly ball to left. Melky Cabrera backpedaling a few steps. 2 down. Boy, Jay Happ has settled in. Well, the Blue Jays presented Derek Jeter with a very nice gift, and it's uniquely Canadian. A 3-day holiday at the beautiful Bank Springs Hotel out in Alberta, including a suite, a helicopter tour of the Canadian Rockies, and his chance to go skiing in the winter or enjoy the great golf there at Banff Springs. What a beautiful part of the world that is.
Just gorgeous. Blue Jays also donated $10,000 to the Turn 2 Foundation, Derek Jeter's foundation. He's going to enjoy that trip because he was talking the other day. They were asking him what he was going to do after he retires, and he says, relax. I've been on planes and buses and had times where I have to be here or there for the last 20, 22, 23 years. I'm just going to relax and not have to look at a clock.
Yeah, and he has certainly earned that opportunity. But that was a very nice gift the Blue Jays presented him. After all, it's very difficult. You know, you talk about what do you get the man that has everything. It's pretty hard. He has gotten different things. He got a paddleboard from the Angels with Yankee pinstripes on it. Houston gave him some Yankee pinstripe cowboy boots with the Yankee NY on it. I mean, there were several different gifts, but the Blue Jays gift, I thought, was uniquely Canadian.
It's uniquely Canadian. That's what's so cool about it. And a beautiful part of the country. You can go up there and relax.
Ground ball. Kawasaki gobbles it up. Jeter is retired. 3 up, 3 down for half in the third. Blue Jays down by a run. A special tribute to the Canadian Forces today. They salute Sergeant Stéphane Legacy. He enrolled in the Canadian Forces in 1999, and as recently as 2010, he assisted the Haitian people after a devastating earthquake, helping dispatch thousands of pounds of humanitarian aid by helicopter. Sergeant Stéphane Legacy. Today's Sunday salute. Mark Burley out to present Sergeant Legacy with that Blue Jays jersey with his name on the back, part of a great Sunday salute to the Canadian Forces. Danny Valencia will start things off, then Munenori Kawasaki, and back to the top of the order.
This should be a good matchup, I think, for Danny Valencia. That sinker comes right in towards him. He's a very good low ball inside hitter. So they stay away.
We'll talk about the trade deadline. We've just been informed that the Milwaukee Brewers have added Jonathan Buxton in a deal with the Cincinnati Reds, shoring up their bullpen.
That's good for both teams, because the Reds signed him to a 3-year, $27 million contract at the beginning of the last year, so he is owed a lot of money. And the Brewers need a little bit of more help in the bullpen. Good for both teams.
Valencia reaches out and strokes it into left field. A leadoff single. Brandon McCarthy got ahead of Valencia with that sinking fastball, and he's got to pitch ahead, as Pat has mentioned.
Because he doesn't throw that hard. His average velocity tops out at 92 miles an hour. That's his fastball about 60% of the time. And you can see batters are hitting over 300 against Brandon. Curveball, cutter, changeup will fill out what he will throw. But he throws a lot of strikes, a lot of first pitch strikes. So batters have to be ready against him. He likes to put him on the defensive very early in the count. Munenori
Kawasaki. There goes Valencia. The hit and run is on, and Teixeira makes a terrific play. Well, you start the runner because McCarthy has thrown ground ball after ground ball, and wouldn't you know it, Kawasaki hits a line drive. Five-time Gold Glover Mark Teixeira at first snared it.
Right to his glove side, too. Teixeira bounces off. You see him holding on the runner, bounces off, and still has that great reaction as he plucks that ball out of the air and then makes the play all by himself. There is nothing you can do about that if you're a hitter.
No, and everything was in position to play hit and run. First five outs were ground balls. Kawasaki's a ground ball hitter. And he hit the one-line drive, and it goes right to Teixeira.
And a lot of first pitch strikes from McCarthy. Everything.
Yeah, you couldn't have scripted any better. Perfect time to play hit and run. Just a bad result. Reyes grounded out to short his first time up. Brandon McCarthy spent his first 10 years in California. He was born in Glendale, and he was a big Dodger fan and a big Hershiser fan. And you can see the similarities in the way he pitches. There's a pop-up. That's going to be over the seats. But Orel Hershiser in his heyday with the Dodgers was a sinker ball pitcher. Threw a lot of first pitch fastballs, used the movement.
His windup looks very similar to Hershiser's, how he goes up and over his head.
Breaking ball, pull foul. Bautista and Valencia talking about McCarthy. I'm sure Valencia hit a slider into left field. Bautista's only had 2 at-bats against Brandon McCarthy. The more information you can get, the better off you are, of course. Bautista's terrific in breaking down information and looking at video.
You know what else he is also good at is finding little things within a pitcher's delivery that might tip off what they are throwing in that situation. Maybe his glove does a certain thing that shows you it's going to be a fastball or a breaking ball.
And sometimes when you're looking at that as Reyes takes ball 4, you'll go to another player and say, hey, keep your eye on blank and see if you see something I see. And then you put your heads together and determine, hey, I can pick up his breaking ball when he does this. All of those things Bautista's been excellent at throughout his career.
Without telling him what you see, because you don't want to tell him then as a player.
Then he'll see it, yeah.
Yeah, you say, oh, yeah, I see it. Yeah, that's exactly what I see. Tell me what you see when he does this. And if it matches, maybe you've got something.
2 outs. Reyes at first, and they're going to check on him. Gianna Navarro had a stolen base, so you got to believe Reyes has got a chance to steal one.
Well, they'll hold him on, and I think they'll pay a little bit more attention to him over there at first base than they did in the honor.
Maybe so. Reyes has 24 steals. He has a good aggressive lead at first. Baseball is such a great game because of these aspects. The mind game between a pitcher and a base runner. Reyes trying to figure out if he can get a jump. Cervelli's got a strong arm behind the plate. Not running here, and it's a breaking ball inside.
Cervelli does a very good job, I think, of throwing out runners. He's very quick with a strong arm. And McCarthy seems to do a good job of unloading quickly.
Only 5 attempts against McCarthy. They've caught 1 base runner. There's a fly ball to left. Wheeler over near the foul line. He'll get there, and the inning is over. Blue Jays leave another base runner. We'll go to the 4th. A 1-0 game on the strength of that leadoff homer. Sportsnet 590, The Fan. You can win 4 tickets to a Blue Jays Fan Appreciation Weekend. Prize includes tickets, airfare, hotel, and a chance to throw out the first pitch at a Blue Jays game. The contest closes September 19th. Full rules at BlueJays.com. Great opportunity to join in on the Blue Jays Fan Appreciation Weekend. It's all presented by Sportsnet 590, The Fan. So make sure you enter the contest today. You can do that at BlueJays.com. Martin Prado. He was part of the Yankees bolstering their postseason hopes. Picked up along with Stephen Drew, Chase Headley, Brandon McCarthy. Did a nice job. You know, a lot of people criticize the Yankees for not doing enough, and they compared them to the Boston Red Sox, saying, well, look what Boston did. You know, they got rid of all their big contracts, and they opened up a lot of space. Well, the Yankees aren't in a position to do that. They've got so much money committed to so many players over the long haul that they got to stay the course.
They don't have a John Lester to trade to bolster a bat like the Red Sox. We're going to lose Lester as a free agent, big starting pitcher, and you get a big hitter like Cespedes. I don't think the Yankees have somebody like that they can trade.
Now they are committed for the long haul, that's for sure. Martin Prado with a leadoff single here in the 4th. Mark Teixeira. You know, people forget about Teixeira's contract. 8 years, $180 million. And he will be paid through 2016. They got Beltran through 16, Sabathia through 16. And then they got a host of guys that are paid up to 2020. There's a line drive to right. Bautista is there. Had him played perfectly. You know, the Boston Red Sox only have 2 players signed for the long haul. Dustin Pedroia is signed through 2021. And Rusney Castillo, the new outfielder they just signed to a 7-year contract, is signed through 2020. The Red Sox total commitment next year is 105, but drops off to 33 in 2016. They got a lot of room to do things.
And they've got a lot of young players to fill in the holes if they need to. They got a young catcher, so he'll be making the minimum for a couple of years. They've got a young shortstop in Bogarts, who'll be making the minimum for a long time. How about Mookie Betts in the outfield? Another young player.
There's another fly ball to right. Bautista back easily in front of the warning track. 2 down. He took a shot at Prado, and Prado says, hey,
don't make me run on a Sunday.
Not me. I pay attention. You never know. Get somebody napping.
Maybe they put their head down running back to the base. Bautista actually looked like he was playing it off, and he was just going to lob it into second base and then fire to first.
Chase Headley, switch hitting third baseman. Headley will be a free agent at the end of this season, so he will more than likely not be with the Yankees next year. They got a fellow that they've signed for the long haul that's going to be eligible to come back next year, named Alex Rodriguez.
How do you think that's going to work out? I don't know.
That's really interesting, isn't it? Rodriguez is signed by the Yankees through 2017, and obviously he's been suspended for the entire season. And you know, that's a big question. What are you going to get when Rodriguez comes back?
From a player who has been out of baseball for a full year. And I think A-Rod is around 37 or 38 years old.
There's another drive to right. This one's on the ground, and Bautista's coming up throwing. Here's the throw to third. It's a good one, but not in time. A good player challenges another good player. Prado went first to third on Bautista, and boy, he threw a one-hop strike to third.
He made up his mind, Prado, that he was going to go first to third as soon as that ball was hit. Jose did everything right. But Prado, you can see he's not picking up the coach. He's just coming in hard. He's going to go first to third, challenge Jose. and he makes it with an aggressive slide to third base. Jose, second on the team in outfield assists, just missed his 10th right there.
Headley, second hit of the inning. 5 hits now for the Yankees. Francisco Cervelli has one of those 5 hits. He had a 2-out triple off the top of the fence in center his last time up, but he was stranded at third as Happ struck out Stephen Drew to end the inning. Before we get too far away from it, to finish up the thoughts about Alex Rodriguez, he is a guy that you just don't know, late in his career, sitting out as much time as he has, what you're going to get when he comes back. Rodriguez is 39 years old. He'll be 40 next July.
I was way off.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Of course, there's no reason to recount the numerous awards, the MVPs, the All-Star, the Gold Glove, everything. It's all in the past, but you just don't know what you're going to get. Last time he played in 2013, he played in 44 games at 156 at-bats. There's a base hit to left. Cervelli is all over Jay Happ once again here this afternoon. Cervelli has a triple and an RBI single. The Yankees have expanded their lead to 2-0.
He likes what he sees from Jay Happ. I don't know if it's the arm angle, the pitch. It's a fastball this time, and he likes what he sees. He homered. You mentioned that the last time. That was the last hit of Cervelli's 10-game hitting streak that he had earlier this year. The home run against Happ at Yankee Stadium. He's already 2 for 2 this afternoon.
He's just a double shy of the cycle against Jay Happ. 2-0 New York. And Navarro's going to go out. Chase Headley is at second base. I want to make sure they're on the same page as far as the signals. The Yankees were shut out 2-0 yesterday, the 13th time they were shut out this season. Check that. That's the 13th shutout the Blue Jays have thrown this season. The Yankees have been shut out just 6 times. Drew Hutchison was terrific. 7 innings of 1-hit ball. Aaron Sanchez came in and nailed it down with 2 innings of relief to pick up his first save. Two and 0. Sanchez picked up his first big league win against the Yankees on July 27th, and yesterday picked up his first big league save.
Yeah, you talked to some of the Yankee people today around the batting cage. I asked them about Sanchez, and they said, "Ooh."
There's a fly ball to left. It's carrying well. Melky Cabrera got back quickly, right in front of the warning track. The Yankees get 3 hits. They score a run, but they strand a pair. It's 2-0 New York. Cervelli with an RBI single. of the Toronto Blue Jays. Breaking news, photos, videos, and weekly chats. So one-stop shop for everything Blue Jays. The Blue Jays Rundown only on sportsnet.ca. So check it out. Ben Nicholson-Smith put an article. And you can read all about it on sportsnet.ca.
He has been a force, I'll tell you that. He has really been swinging the bats, and right now he's been carrying the load for the Blue Jays offensively.
Bautista grounded to short his first time up. Jose's got a unique stat in that he has homered 19 times in his first plate appearance against a pitcher. We mentioned this is just his third at bat against Brandon McCarthy, so he didn't have a whole lot of information against McCarthy. Got to pitch up in the zone, and that's where you want to see that sinker if you're the batter.
Yeah, when it's down, the Blue Jays have been hitting it into the ground this afternoon. McCarthy finally gets one up, and Jose had a home run cut at it.
Breaking ball.
Jose has been consistent. What is it, 5 seasons now with at least 25 home runs for the Blue Jays? Book it.
2-2 pitch. Good pitch, tough pitch, down and away, and Bautista is able to stay alive. Brandon McCarthy, for his career, has pitched a total of 202 games. He's given up 107 home runs, only 3 since joining the Yankees. Breaking ball, pulled to third. Nice hop for Headley. 1 down.
That's pitching right there. Kept everything away, went to 3-2, and then pulled the string just a little bit on Jose. Really messed up his timing, had him out in front.
Brandon McCarthy, as you mentioned, Pat, 2 starts ago was terrific against Houston. A complete game, 4-hit shutout for just 107 pitches. And that came after a Yankee loss, an opportunity to really turn things around for New York. Interesting, Brandon McCarthy and Jay Happ, the opposing starters in this game today, have something really in common that I'm sure neither one of them would like to really brag about. They've both been struck in the head by line drives. Brandon McCarthy was hit in the head off the bat of Eric Ibar, and he suffered a skull fracture and had to have emergency surgery. That happened in 2012 in September. He got hit in the head. The ball bounced all the way to the third baseman, Josh Donaldson, who made the catch and the fly. But McCarthy would walk off the field under his own power, but later, after a CAT scan, they did emergency surgery. Little weak ground ball. Lynn's got a chance for a base hit, but Prado unloads in a hurry and throws him out. When you look at the New York Yankees, and they knew things weren't working just before the trade deadline, and they said, you know what, we need some help. And they went out and got Brandon McCarthy, Martin Prado, Chase Headley, and Steven Drew. And the Yankees have always had the wherewithal to make deals, whether it's in players or money, and they can handle adding extra salary.
They did not give up a lot in terms of players going to those other organizations. What they did do is what you just described, is they were able to take on some expensive contracts. And the Yankees have always been able to do that, take on other people's problems, I guess you could say, in contracts, take that money on and help them try and win another pennant.
I think Prado's probably the only one that's really going to have a spot next year. Prado to first, another ground ball out, 3 up, 3 down. Ground ball outs in the 4th. We'll go to the 5th. New York leads 2-0. Now it's time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. Gardner hit a leadoff home run off J-Happ. We haven't really had a chance to give our thoughts about Derek Jeter. Pat, I'll ask you, what's your impressions of Derek Jeter and how the Blue Jays fans have received him here this weekend?
Oh, I think they've had a lot of class towards him, and they've given him standing ovations whenever they've had an opportunity for his career. And I told him this yesterday around the batting cage. I said, if there's anybody who deserves to be a first ballot Hall of Famer and a 100% vote, that's the guy right there, because you've never heard anything bad about Derek Jeter.
Well, and the one thing that we have learned about Derek Jeter, having been around him, is that he makes his teammates better, and he insists that they get better. And he'll be the first one to get on somebody if they're not doing it right, if they don't run down the first base, and if they don't go about their business properly. They forget how many outs there are. And he can do it both with a friendly jab, or he can be stern. I mean, he is the captain for a reason, and he's a true leader.
You have watched him now for 19, 20 years, whatever it is. And have you ever seen him take a play off?
No.
Never. I've never seen him not sprint down the first base line on a comeback or an easy ground ball out. I've never seen him loaf it in the field or on the bases. For 20 years, I've never seen him take a play off.
Yeah, and it's so easy, and obviously when you're going through a tough stretch, say you're 1 for 12 or 0 for 10, you hit a ground ball at shortstop, you know it's going to be an out. But he never assumes a thing on the field, and I think that's why he's held in such high regard.
Right up there, Cal Ripken was the same type of player, demanding position at shortstop, came to work every single day and played hard every day, tried to help his team win every single day.
I'll always remember what George Brett said about his last game in Kansas City. He said, I just think about a dad sitting there with his young son, and I hit a ground ball to second, and I'm out by a half a step. And the father saying, he went out the same way he came in. He played hard every day I ever saw him, and I think you can say that about Derek Jeter.
Absolutely. Pete Rose said it. I remember him saying that I have to play hard every single day because someone might be watching me in the stands for the first time, and I don't want to give them a bad impression.
Isn't that great? Well, Jeter hasn't given too many bad impressions, that's for sure. Ball and a strike to Brett Gardner. Drives this ball to the alley, and that's going to get down. That'll split the outfielders and go all the way to the wall. Gardner is turning second, headed for third. Reyes' relay is over the third baseman and into the dugout. Another error by the Blue Jays has allowed the Yankees to score. A triple and an error by Reyes.
Starting to add a little bit of pop in that bat. That ball was driven to left field, and you knew it was 3 for sure. As soon as that ball got down with his great speed, he was going to try and force third base on the Blue Jays. Well, he did one better. Rasmus does a good job of getting it to Reyes, and then Reyes airmails this ball away from Valencia. Happ goes back to back up the play, and he can't get over there in time as that ball goes through the fencing and into the dugout, and that's another run for the Yankees.
One out. Derek Jeter. Well, and Jay Happ, he could have been in position sooner, and then he wouldn't have to lunge for that ball. He might have been able to keep it from going into the dugout. If he gets over there in position, assuming it might be a triple, then he would be in position to make that play. Ball on the strike to Jeter. Jeter is 1 for 2. Outside.
Well, how many times have you seen this from Derek Jeter, that he's going to take his time, especially the last time here in Toronto. He's out among the fans signing autographs, and they're all over him.
Yeah, and he's just reminding fans, okay, I'm going to sign as many as I can, but don't push those people in front of you. Jeter flies out to Melky Cabrera. Well, Derek Jeter has played 20 years, so you would expect his numbers are kind of gaudy against the Blue Jays. But when you look at his hits here at Rogers Center, he is the all-time leader for a visiting player. 165 hits ahead of a couple of Hall of Famers. 3, in fact, and Cal Ripken Jr. as well.
All great players. Al Molitzer, Harold Baines, a great player. Cal Ripken Jr. It's Derek Jeter way out in front. Only fitting.
2 outs. Martin Prado singled and scored in the 4th. Taking all the way, it's 1-1. Yankees have a 3-0 lead. To Valencia. A hot shot right to the third baseman. The Yankees had a run. They score on the air by Reyes. It's 3-0 New York. In the TD Comfort Zone are contest winners from TD. Welcome to the ballpark. Congratulations, you've got a nice seat here at Rogers Center. While over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse are folks from East Nepean Little League. Welcome to the ballpark. We hope you had a great summer playing baseball in East Nepean. We're glad you're here this afternoon. And you got Ace up there with you to share this great afternoon. There's some of those long sleeve Blue Jays baseball shirts. Sold out crowd here at Rogers Center today as the Blue Jays wrap up this homestand. Jays will go out on the road, play Tampa Bay starting Tuesday night. They'll have an off day down in St. Petersburg tomorrow. Tampa Bay for 3 and then up to Boston to take on the Red Sox at Fenway Park Friday night.
What do we have? 2 more series the rest of the year outside the American League East?
Winding down. We've got the Seattle Mariners at the end and the Cubs next homestand. And if you're not paying attention to the Chicago Cubs, there are a lot of good young players on that team. They have hit 15 home runs as rookies in the month of August. Their rookies have torn it up. Jorge Soler, Javier Baez, they've done a great job. And they will be here at Rogers Center when the Blue Jays come back off this next road trip.
That ties the Cubs record for home runs by rookies in 1 month. 1955. You have to go all the way back to 55 for the Cubs.
Down in the barrel, swings at that curveball and strikes out. 1 down. We mentioned Brandon McCarthy was hit in the head by a line drive off the bat of Eric Ibar. He walked off the field under his own power, had a CAT scan, and it revealed some hemorrhaging that they had to address immediately. And He underwent 2.5 hours of surgery. Brandon McCarthy at the time was with the Oakland Athletics, and he said he is so grateful for the attention Billy Beane, Bob Melvin, and the trainer, Nick Paparesta, gave him during that time. They sat with his wife during the entire surgery, and of course they really gave him some top-notch attention, as they should. But he said he'll always be indebted to the way that the Oakland A's handled his situation.
That was a scary scene when we watched that. And we watched Jay Happ then have the same thing happen to him.
Colby Erasmus strikes out, back-to-back strikeouts here in the 5th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Now that's a terrific view from high atop Toronto. Maybe that's that helicopter they got for Jeter that they're going to fly him around in Banff.
Where? I couldn't figure out where that was. I guess it looked like it was maybe along the Gardner.
No, the cars were moving.
Oh.
Danny Valencia had a single his first time up. Ball on the strike to the Blue Jays' third baseman. Fouls off that pitch.
Single last time against a slider from McCarthy right here. He's got him set up for one right here if he wants to go back to it. Just 58 pitches for Brandon McCarthy here in the 5th inning.
Well, it's a real catch-22 for the Blue Jays hitters. You've mentioned the fact that when he falls behind, the average really jumps, but he's throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, so you go up there thinking you're going to get a pretty good pitch to hit early on.
And again, he doesn't throw the ball by you. He's around the plate, doesn't walk anybody.
How about striking out the side? First time through the lineup, got a lot of ground ball outs. He strikes out the side in the 5th, and here comes the Home Hardware cleanup crew, brought to you by Natura. Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. Baseball action, and there'll be more baseball tomorrow. The Mariners will be in Oakland to take on the Athletics. Another great game with playoff implications, and if you look at Sportsnet, you can check it all out. It all starts at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific time right here on Sportsnet. In that Oakland game, it'll be Chris Young against Jason Hamill, the pitching matchup. Chris Young is 12-6. Hamill just 1-5 since he's joined Oakland. But you'll be able to see Adam Dunn, who has just been acquired by Oakland this afternoon in trade with Chicago White Sox. And they are hard-pressed for some offense there in Oakland, and they'll put Dunn in that designated hitter role, I'm sure.
They traded a big bat in Cespedes out of the middle of that lineup, and the offense just hasn't been the same. They got John Lester, and that's really going to help them, I think, if they're in the playoffs. But a home run bat is always nice.
You got to get to the playoffs before you can help you. Mark Teixeira didn't go around, according to Ben May down at first. You think there are a lot of GMs on the phones right now?
Yes. Yes, they know everybody who's passed through waivers and people who have made waiver claims. So we might see a couple more by the end of the day.
There's a strike right on the corner. One down. Carlos Beltran, he is 0 for 2. He's a switch hitter and one of the best in the game. And when you look at all-time home run hitters as a switch hitter, the active switch hit home run leaders, Carlos Beltran leads the pack. He's ahead of Mark Teixeira, his teammate. Nick Swisher's out for the season with knee problems. He's got 239. Jimmy Rollins of the Phillies and Victor Martinez of the Tigers.
And we learned something about Carlos Beltran the other day of what a very good hitting instructor he is. He's a very smart hitter. Josh Tolley played with him in New York, and Josh would go to him and ask him, as another set of eyes, what do you see in my swing? And he would tell him. He says he's very good at picking things out to help you become a better hitter.
Drives this ball to left, but that's going to hook into the seats.
You know who was like that, Buck? Manny Ramirez was like that. You overlook the intelligence and the smart that hitters that they become because they're such great players.
Yeah, good players aren't an accident, that's for sure.
Yes.
And you know, Beltran is very quiet, especially publicly. But as a teammate, he's really a great teammate. And we told the story about Tolley in New York when he was a teammate of Beltran's, how Beltran wrapped his bats in newspaper and put them in the bat rack because Tolley, known for the fact he doesn't hit the ball hard. And Beltran wrapped his bats in newspaper, put them in the bat rack, and Josh Tolley was going up to the plate, couldn't find his bats, and when he did, they were wrapped in newspapers.
And he had to call timeout on the on-deck circuit as he was peeling the bat of the newspaper. All in front.
Full count, 1 out. Chased a bad pitch. Couple of outs, 2 strikeouts. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He hit it off of Ricky Nolasco. Wei-Yin Chen has pitched 3 innings. He has not allowed a run, just 2 hits and a couple of strikeouts. And the Orioles, where they have a lot of momentum built up right now.
You know, it's almost like the Orioles are saying, okay, we can take anything that you can dish out, that they've had some injuries and some tough times. It's pulling that team together, and they're playing some good baseball right now.
How about the job Caleb Joseph has done? The catcher filling in for Matt Wieters. At one point, Joseph homered in 5 straight games. For the season, he's batting .225, but most importantly, he's brought the best out of that pitching staff.
That's the thing that I've been impressed with. Is his pitch selection and the way he's been throwing the baseball.
There's a drive down the left side. That's going to get down and bounce over the wall for a ground rule double off the bat of Chase Headley. Headley's second hit off Jay Happ this afternoon. A ground rule double.
He too homered off of Jay Happ back at Yankee Stadium and has a multi-hit game here this afternoon. Not a bad pitch. It was down and in, and he went down and got it, golfed it. Watch how he went down to get that low pitch from Happ. Drives it down the left field line for an extra base hit.
You know, everybody kind of ridiculed the Yankees for picking up Chase Headley, saying, well, he hasn't done much. He's got a bad back, and he's not going to do much for you. But it's not so much what they're doing at the time as it is about who they are. Headley is known to be a ball player. Joe Girardi appreciates that. He comes to work every single day. He's only had one outstanding season. He won a Gold Glove and drove in 100 runs for the Padres. But he comes to work every day. And that's what a manager wants to know. What can I get from this guy? He's not going to put up star numbers, but he's going to come up with some timely hits and fill in for a regular that you've lost.
And it's a good matchup, I think, in that ballpark with that team. Switch hitter, another switch hitter for the Yankees in their lineup. They have 3 of them this afternoon.
Well, that's one thing the Yankees have always done is they've had a bunch of switch hitters going back to Bernie Williams and Jorge Posada. Mark Teixeira came on board. And they have just always paid attention. Even Melky Cabrera was a Yankee early on as a switch hitter. Cervelli is 2 for 2. There he takes a strike. It's now 2-1. Jay Happ has given up a triple and an RBI single to Cervelli, and with 2 outs, he's got to be cognizant. He's got a guy behind him in Stephen Drew, a left-handed bat.
He's hitting 170 coming into this game.
There's a good curveball. Yeah, you can't give in to Cervelli right here. You have to make sure that you make a quality pitch to him.
He's hit a couple of fastballs from Jay this afternoon, so he's starting to change speeds on him just a little bit more. Throwing that curveball, changeup.
There's an off-speed pitch and a big strikeout. Yankees leave a runner in scoring position. Jay Happ strikes out the side in the 6th. For Derek Jeter here at Rogers Center, and he's wrapping up an illustrious 20-year career. And the fans have turned out. It's a sold-out crowd. It has been a full house all weekend long. And the Yankees make their final trip to Rogers Center this season. Munenori Kawasaki takes a first pitch strike. McCarthy now bringing in the curveball into the mix after he used that sinking fastball early on, and now that curveball has become a weapon for him.
Struck out the last 3 batters that he has faced as he has started to use that curveball just a little bit more. mean, that's what pitching is all about, isn't it? That's why I love watching players like this, or Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, guys that don't have that blazer, but they knew how to find weaknesses in the batter.
Well, as a starting pitcher, you have to be aware that you're going to have to change your approach. You can't throw the same pitches 4 times to a hitter in a particular game. You got to mix it up. Ground ball to Sheriff, shovels to McCarthy in time, and another ground ball out for Brandon McCarthy. Well, you can hear Cervelli hollering at the pitcher to get over there, as that was a little ground ball hit to Teixeira, and Cervelli was all over McCarthy to remind him to break quickly.
Any ball to the right side, you got to get over there. First baseman Teixeira's got great rage for a first baseman, and he's told to go get anything that he can. Picks that one off, and McCarthy with those long arms reach back and makes the play.
And then there's Chase Headley going to the mound to talk to McCarthy to help him catch his breath. And these players just understand. There's things you do, subtle things you do to help a teammate. Headley came over from third base. He wasn't involved in a play whatsoever. But he knew the pitcher just sprinted to first base. His heart was racing a little bit, so he came over and chatted for a moment, said, okay, take your breath and go after Reyes. Jose Reyes has grounded out and walked. We're in the 6th. The Blue Jays trail by 3. Brandon McCarthy has held the Jays to just 2 hits. Off the end of the bat. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Pretty nasty pitch right there. A little 2-1 sinker. Jose was trying to time it up, and he just nubbed it off the end of the bat.
This is popped out of play. You know, Pat, there's going to be a lot of talk about this trade deadline, and players are picked up today. We mentioned the Orioles picked up a couple players yesterday. Adam Dunn went to the Oakland A's from Chicago today. There's going to be some more deals before the trade deadline for sure. Reyes hits it hard. McCarthy was late, but Teixeira will step on the bag himself. But the real challenge for the general managers, does he fit? Obviously, the Yankees felt that McCarthy fit with their team. He's a sinker ball pitcher in a ballpark that gives up a lot of home runs, so that's a good fit. And I mentioned this in looking at Jake Peavy. Peavy was 1-9 with the Red Sox. The Giants needed some help. They needed a starter, and everybody going, 1-9, what's Peavy going to do for you? Well, he's won 3 games. He's lost 4, but he's won 3. And he took a no-hitter deep into the game last night. Well, he's Jake Peavy. He's pitched in the National League West his whole life. Bochy had him in San Diego when they were together with the Padres, and they knew the character. There's a drive, and you can forget about this one. Melky Cabrera has got Cabrera's 3rd career home run against Brandon McCarthy has put the Jays on the board. That's only the 4th home run McCarthy has given up.
Home run number 16 on the season for Melky Cabrera. Tried to slip a fastball by him, but Melky said not too quickly. I'm going to be ready for that one. That ball got out of here quickly. What a year he is putting together.
McCarthy gave up 15 home runs pitching for the Diamondbacks. That's just the 4th home run he's allowed since coming to the Yankees, and that's gotten life in this ballpark.
Watch this fastball. Comes back. It's up and in, and Melky recognizes it and lets it go. Quickly blisters that ball.
Bautista with a 2-0 count. Another look at that beautiful swing.
no stride. He just uses his hands, and his weight shift comes on his swing. He lets the swing take himself forward and threw that baseball.
Home run number 16 for Cabrera. Bautista takes a breaking ball strike. Melky Cabrera's career high in home runs is 18. That happened in 2011 with the Royals. He's just 2 off that. There's a drive deep to center field and gone. 5 in a row for Bautista.
McCarthy tried to surprise Bautista once again with a fastball. And Jose was waiting for it. Told you he hits him in bunches, and he's been doing that. Wow, that ball was covered.
The 5th straight game Bautista has hit a home run in. That's 1 off the franchise record. Jose Cruz Jr. hit 6 straight games in 2001. Bautista's just 1 off that mark, and it's a brand new ball game. 7th time the Blue Jays have gone back-to-back this season.
Watch where this pitch is. They try to slip another sinking fastball inside, try to surprise Jose. It doesn't get inside, and he sees it, recognizes it, and hammers it.
Bautista had grounded out twice before that home run. And this is a beautiful swing as well. Number 29 for Bautista. Lynn drives it to left. Wheeler backs up. The inning is over, but fireworks here in the 6th. With 2 outs. Melky Cabrera goes deep over the wall in right. His 16th, and then right behind him, Bautista, number 29. It's a 3-2 game. Straight games, and he is 1 shy of the franchise record. But when you look at home run streaks in consecutive games this season, we mentioned Caleb Joseph earlier. With the Orioles, did it? Blue Jays were involved in that. Jose Bautista with 5 straight. His is active. George Springer back in May hit it in 4 straight. Melky Cabrera started against the Yankees in his 4-game streak of homering. And now Bautista and Cabrera have gone back-to-back to make it a 1-run game.
Jose all alone in 2nd place now in the Blue Jays history. Only Jose Cruz Jr., who homered at 6 straight, host of others at 4 straight. George Bell, Joe Carter, Carlos Delgado, Sean Green, Bautista, Encarnacion, Rasmus, a whole host of them. And now he is all alone in second place.
Stephen Drew hits a mile-high pop-up. Now it's time for the drive of the game. It's brought to you by the all-new 2015 Acura TLX. Experience the thrill today at your local Acura dealer.
This afternoon, it's got to be the drives of the game. Long home run by Melky Cabrera. And then right behind him, Jose Bautista is going to hit his 5th home run of the season on a 2-1 count. Brandon McCarthy had fallen behind once again, and Bautista drives it out of the ballpark.
Back-to-back home runs for the Jays, the 7th time they've done that this season. Jay Happ has held his ball club in this game. He's given up single runs in the 1st, 4th, and 5th. Blue Jays got 2 in the bottom of the 6th.
He too is starting to use that curveball just a little bit more. It's a good little combination that has going right now, the fastball and the curveball.
Wheeler fouls it out of play. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Jay Happ has really not been given much run support. And again, the same is true this afternoon. Just 2 runs through 6 innings. In his last 7 starts, they have amassed a total of 8 runs. Curveball, and Wheeler lays out.
His last win was July the 22nd against Boston. Then he had a no decision against the Yankees. Blue Jays scored him 1 run at Houston, another no decision, another run, just 1 run against Baltimore. He lost that game. 1 run against Milwaukee.
Rasmus backs up. Wheeler drives it to center. 2 down. Ted Gardner in the leadoff spot has had a big day. He hit his 6th career leadoff home run in the 1st.
Blue Jays have been watching him do things like this against them for the last couple of years. Homers to lead off the ball game, and then slices a ball to left center field. And when the ball's mishandled by the Blue Jays as they get it in on the relay, Gardner has a triple, and he can trot home with a run as the ball's thrown away.
The home run was his 3rd here at Rogers Center. The triple, his 7th career triple here in this ballpark. Gardner coming into this game a .324 career hitter against the Blue Jays. He now has 9 triples and 8 home runs against the Jays.
Yeah, that's the one that really surprises me, the home runs. Doesn't look like a big home run hitter, but he now has 16 this year.
That doubles his previous career high.
Set last year. 8.
0-2. Past Kawasaki into center field. Gardner is headed for second. Here's the throw from Rasmus, not in time. Brett Gardner reads the scouting reports. He knows the Blue Jays outfield plays deep, and he was thinking too the moment that ball got by Kawasaki.
As soon as it got by him, yeah, they look at those scouting reports, and all the teams in the American League East know that the Blue Jays outfielders play deep. So he was thinking too. He makes Colby Rasmus run after the ball. He's got a throw on the run. It's off mark, and it's another extra base hit from Brett Gardner. He's got himself in scoring position on this base hit. We saw the Tampa Bay Rays take advantage of the Blue Jays playing deep in the outfield a couple of times, hustling singles into doubles.
2 outs. Jeter. Derek Jeter is 1 for 3 today. Yankees have a 3-2 lead. Jay Happ trying to put up a 0 here in the top of the 7th. That patented inside-out swing is what gets Jeter so many hits. That pitch was perfect. You see number 2 up and in. Tough to hit that one. Brett Cecil, the left-hander, loosening up. Jay Happ comes off the mound, plants and fires, and strands a base runner. Good job by Jay Happ. 7 strong innings here this afternoon. He's down by a run. Encarnacion, Navarro, and Rasmus to face McCarthy when we come back. Baseball action on Sportsnet. Across 4 channels, you'll see the Rangers in Kansas City to take on the Royals. The Kansas City and the Tigers are tied atop the AL Central. Kansas City Royals have a certain thing on their mind getting to the postseason. They haven't been to the postseason since 1985. And they've got a very favorable schedule. Kansas City plays 14 home games, 13 road games. They are 39-29 on the road. So make sure you check it out tomorrow. The Texas Rangers are taking on the Kansas City Royals. Colby Lewis will start for the Rangers against Yordano Ventura, the hard-throwing right-hander for KC.
It should be a lot of fun when that guy takes the mound. You never know what's going to happen with Ventura out there. He throws so hard.
Edwin Encarnacion has grounded out twice to the second baseman. Blue Jays have scored 2 runs, a couple of back-to-back solo home runs.
I bet you Brandon McCarthy stays away from Edwin Encarnacion now, that it is a 1-run game. Pitch away from his power.
Stays away again and missed. Right there.
He wanted that ball down and away. Cervelli, the catcher, set up down and away, and he missed his spot. Watch the catcher, Cervelli. Look how low he wants that ball and where it ends up. Good rip by Encarnacion. He just missed it.
Full count. Encarnacion's last home run came against the White Sox in Chicago on the 17th of August. Came against Scott Carroll. A 2-run homer. There's another one. Get out of here. Tie game.
McCarthy had pinpoint control early in the game. Last 2 innings, he's missed a spot, but it's cost him. They wanted that ball away again. The previous pitch, Edwin fouled it back. That time he didn't miss it.
3 home runs in the last 4 batters. That's what the middle of this order can do. Number 28 for Double E.
One more time. High and deep to left. And he knows he got it. It's been a while. He can go to his home run trot.
2-0 to Navarro. Yankees bullpen is at work. Dylan Betances, the big right-hander. He's going to get a little more time to get loose as Larry Rothschild has made his way out of the Yankees dugout. Rothschild, the pitching coach.
He had been cruising right along until that 6th inning. He gave a home run to Cabrera, Bautista, and now Edwin. One more. They wanted that one down and away. And that's right in home run swing of Edwin Encarnacion. Tries that cutter to try and get it off the barrel. It leaks back out over the plate. And we are all tied. Still just 88 pitches this afternoon for Brandon McCarthy.
Yeah, just 3 bad ones.
Look at where the catcher is set up. Cutter to get it off the barrel of the bat. It stays over the middle of the plate, and Edwin knows what to do with that.
Boy, as a catcher, when you give that target down and away and you see that ball sailing up and in, you wish you could call timeout. 3 solo home runs, and the big bats have gotten the Blue Jays right back in it. Navarro takes ball 4. So Girardi will make a pitching change here. A home run and a walk, and that'll be it for Brandon McCarthy. And it caved in a hurry. With 2 outs in the 6th, he gave up back-to-back home runs to Cabrera and Bautista. And then Edwin Encarnacion with a leadoff home run. 3-3 game. Betances in to face Rasmus. Brandon McCarthy had given up 3 home runs in 9 starts since joining the Yankees. He gave up 3 home runs in 4 batters this afternoon against the Blue Jays. Cabrera, Bautista, Encarnacion. And we're tied at 3.
so it's off to the bullpen. And Dylan Betances, what a year that this young man has put together for the Yankees. 5-0 with a 150 earned run average. He was an all-star this season. 116 strikeouts this season for Betances. Just 21 base on balls. Hard fastball, hard breaking ball.
Steve Townsend pinch running for Navarro at first. Nobody out. Rasmus fouls it straight back. John Navarro with the walk. Encarnacion started the inning with a home run and the walk. New pitcher into the game. Betances has learned the art of throwing strikes. He is 6'8". The Blue Jays or the Yankees have been waiting a long time on Betances to develop.
Just a great natural talent. He was a starter in the minor leagues, but he has really flourished since they have moved him into that setup role. He has been taking care of the 7th and 8th inning all season long for the Yankees, and he does it again here. Drives that breaking ball in on Rasmus, strikes out for the 3rd time. Watch how hard this ball is. He pulls that right off of his middle finger. That's his curveball, and he snaps it up there for the 1st out.
Great breaking ball for the 1st out of the inning. Valencia taps it foul right at home plate. The Blue Jays, like everybody else in baseball, can expand their roster tomorrow. And here's a great situation where an expanded roster would help the Blue Jays. You might pinch hit for Valencia here in this situation, but it's not a prime pinch hitting opportunity where we are in the game, considering that you only have 2 more players on the bench because Toller's going to come into the bench as the catcher.
Into the game. If you have somebody like an Anthony Gose who could pinch run, a guy who could really steal you a base, your percentages go way up when you have somebody like that on your bench.
Up and away on the 0-2 pitch. You would imagine Gose is on his way. Buffalo wrapping up their season this weekend, and Gose would certainly be one that you would expect to be called up. Valencia strikes out, arguing that he foul tipped it, but he is out. 2 down.
Canon's summer clearance sales event. The season's best prices on digital SLRs and point-and-shoot cameras for a limited time only. Visit a Canon authorized dealer today.
Munenori Kawasaki is 0 for 2. He rips that foul just outside of first. He put a good swing on that pitch.
Just when you think that he's going to massage a ball to left field or try to shoot one the other way, he'll wait for a fastball inside and try and turn on it. He did that his first time up. Almost paid off. He lined into a double play. This time fastball down and in, and he's looking to do the same thing.
There goes the runner. The throw from Cervelli is not in time. The go-ahead run in scoring position. Cervelli has thrown out 25% of the runners so far. Townsend steals the 2nd bag for the Blue Jays, his 3rd of the season.
That one off of Betances. It takes a long time to unload the ball. Really no chance for Cervelli. As Tolleson straight steals. 2nd base.
2-1 to Kawasaki. The outfield is very shallow. Base hit to right field. Beltran's coming up throwing. Here's the throw to the plate. It is not in time. Kawasaki does it again.
probably taking a look at this one right now. The stolen base pays off for the Blue Jays. They send the runner. They get him into scoring position. Right after Tollison steals it, Kawasaki singles to right field.
Well, the Yankees are stalling right now, trying to get a read, and Tony Pena has hung up the phone. They're not going to challenge.
Fastball, and Kawasaki pulls it into right field. You said the outfield is shallow, so there's going to be a play at the plate. Watch the slide by Tollison. He gets the hand on the plate as Cervelli reaches back. Safe.
It looked like Cervelli missed Tollison's hand. Tollison scores after stealing second, and the Blue Jays have a 4-3 lead. Kawasaki's 12th RBI of the season against one of the toughest relievers in the American League.
Here it is one more time. He lunges back to try and block the plate, but look where the hand of Tollison is. It's on the inside part of the plate. The glove over the plate. Safe.
Looked like he missed his hand. Kawasaki has given the Blue Jays the lead. Reyes fouls it off.
Tollison's got to get a big secondary lead, which he does, and then breaks on contact. You know Luis Rivera is going to send him right here. This is your shot against one of the better relievers. Bingo. Blue Jays take the lead.
Jay Happ finally gets some run support. Reyes is called up. Betances would strike out the side, but the Blue Jays have taken the lead. Encarnacion tied it. Kawasaki gives them the lead. Encarnacion's leadoff home run, number 28. Then Kawasaki with the go-ahead RBI. Protect this one-run lead. The Blue Jays have a 4-3 lead as the Yankees are set to bat here in the 8th. 57th appearance for Cecil. Tony Pena has been thrown out of this ball game as he was on the umpire. Josh Tolley takes over defensively behind the plate. Steve Tollison, who pinch ran for Navarro, is at second base. Kawasaki is out of the game. Cecil delivers a first pitch strike. Another good curveball. Boy, that has been his bread and butter of late. They have really gotten that curveball back for Cecil.
Yeah, I got him spinning that ball, and he's throwing it for strikes. He's mixing it in with his fastball. I think his pitch selection has been a lot better. Consequently, his numbers have been better.
Pulled way foul into the seats. What a ball game. Brandon McCarthy got off to a great start. Was breezing through 6 2/3. And then Melky Cabrera and Jose Bautista went back to back. And then Encarnacion led off the 7th with a home run. The home run bats tied it. And the guy that doesn't hit any home runs gave him a lead, Kawasaki. There's a ball ripped to left field. Prado starts things off. Play of the game is brought to you by the Sleeman Speakeasy. Only the notorious get in. Enter for your chance at SleemanSpeakeasy.ca.
Well, let's see it right here. Steve Tollefson had just stolen second base against one of the best relievers in the American League. He pulls the ball to right field. Throw from Beltran up the line just a little bit, and that gives Tollefson the chance to sneak in with the go-ahead run. How about that slide? And that play by Cervelli. What a shot right there.
Great play all around. Beltran made a good throw. Mark Teixeira has struck out twice. Kawasaki out of the game. Tollefson scored the go-ahead run. Teixeira 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Jay Happ deserves a lot of credit. He hung in there. He was trailing 3-0. Blue Jays scored 2 in 6 and 1 and 2 in the 7th, and have given him the lead. But Tansis gave up the go-ahead base hit to Kawasaki.
He gave up his share of hits this afternoon, but he didn't walk a batter. And if the bullpen can keep the Yankees off the board, Jay Happ is in line for the win now.
Jay Happ hasn't had a win since July 22nd. Teixeira tried to check. He went around. Ben May at first calls him out. Teixeira has struck out 3 times.
Got him last time looking on a fastball down and away. Now Brett Cecil with that spike curveball in a good spot. Fools Mark Teixeira, tries to hold up, and it's a strikeout.
Carlos Beltran, the right fielder, inside off the plate. Yankees have out-hit the Blue Jays 10-6. But the Blue Jays have outscored them.
Tough part of the lineup right now for the Yankees. 3 straight switch hitters. So John Gibbons brings in the left-hander to make them all hit right-handed.
Chase Headley is next.
Keep them away from first base. Just a little bit farther away from first base.
Well, it doesn't make any difference to Brett Cecil. He's been effective against lefties and righties. And he's got that great curveball that really neutralizes the right-handed bat. Prado at the leadoff single.
Sure, he has looked at the numbers, and Beltran batting right-handed .214 as opposed to .258. Headley .211 as opposed to .256. Mark Teixeira a little bit higher average from the right side.
And a good breaking ball. Headley He too a switch hitter, 3 in a row, as Pat mentioned. Headley is 2 for 3 so far. There goes the runner. Ball is hit in the air to center field, and Cabrera slides over into the elements to catch. 2 down. Brett Cecil has really found a home in the bullpen. He was a starter when he first came up with the Blue Jays, but since he has refined his pitches where they're effective coming out of the pen.
Fastball, curveball, he'll cut that fastball at times and occasionally throw that changeup 7% of the time. When he gets to 2 strikes, he'll come right after you. He'll use that curveball 51% of the time and the fastball. It's got such bite to it. He's not afraid to throw it when he's behind in the count. He's not afraid to throw it 3-2. And he'll get his majority of strikeouts with that curveball.
Chase Headley loading up on that back leg. 2 for 3 so far. Headley has faced Cecil 4 times. He's 0 for 4. How about the Blue Jays using the stolen base twice today, and the last one by Tollison got them the lead. A couple of unlikely stolen bases. Navarro picked up his 2nd stolen base with 2 outs in the 2nd, and at that time he represented the tying run. Tollison picks up the stolen base and scores the go-ahead run.
Picked on a good pitch. And that's a good time to gamble right there. If he gets thrown out, Kawasaki leads off the next inning, and you know he's got a great on-base percentage. And will work the count, but he took the pitch. Tollison was able to get in the scoring position, and then the Blue Jays cash him in.
3-0 to Headley.
Ball 4.
A 2-out walk, and that's going to bring the pitching coach out of the Blue Jays dugout. Pete Walker will jog to the mound. Cervelli, he's had a good day at the plate. He tripled in the 2nd, had an RBI single in the 4th, struck out in the 6th.
Nobody warming up in the Blue Jay bullpen. They might be stirring around now, but if you're thinking about bringing in a right-hander, here's 3 lefties sitting on the bench for the Yankees.
That Redmond has just grabbed a baseball, and he's starting to loosen up. Cervelli against Cecil is 5 for 7. That's a 7.14 average, and he's had a hot day at the plate. Cecil drops that hook in there for a strike.
Not afraid to throw it at any time.
Prado led off the inning with a single to left. 2 outs later, Chase Headley walked. Never really picked it up out of Cecil's hand.
He's a good fastball hitter, Cervelli. He's going to be geared for that fastball. Cecil crosses him up with that good breaking ball. I wouldn't even show him a fastball. Wouldn't even show it. Don't even waste a pitch.
Cecil. He gives up a leadoff single, strands a pair. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays have a 4-3 lead. It's time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zorn. Saturday will be Saturday, September 13th, when the Blue Jays take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Game time is 1:07 p.m. There are special kids prize tickets in the 200 and 500 level outfield seats after the game. Kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. With all the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234 or log on to BlueJays.com and get your tickets for the next Junior Jays Saturday. There are only 2 Saturdays left in this season, so make sure you get your tickets and come on out. Yesterday, it looked like everybody in Toronto was running the bases. There was a huge lineup to run the bases after the game. Make sure your kids get a chance. 2 more Junior Jays Saturdays on the slate. Well, Melky Cabrera got the scoring started for the Blue Jays. He had a 2-out home run in the 6th, right ahead of Bautista's home run. For Cabrera, it was his 3rd career home run against Brandon McCarthy. But the other 2 came back when Cabrera was a Yankee. 2006, when McCarthy was pitching for the White Sox. Hits this ball hard to center, but that's going to hang up for Gardner.
What is that, 5 home runs now that he has hit against the Yankees this season?
He hit 4 early on against New York and then added another. He has had a great run. Dylan Betances struck out the side in the 7th, but he gave up the RBI base hit to Kawasaki to give the Blue Jays the lead. Bautista hit his 29th home run in the 6th. Jose has homered in 5 straight games. That ties him with Caleb Joseph of the Orioles for the most consecutive games with a home run this season. It also puts Bautista just 1 off the franchise record for consecutive games with a home run. Jose Cruz Jr. did that in 2001. Boy, Betances has got a big arm. Casey Jansen loosening up. It's a 1-run game.
You have to gear yourself up for that fastball. You got to get it started early. And he can drop that breaking ball on you. This time Bautista checks his swing on a fastball, and he did not go.
Breaking ball around the inside corner. 4 and 5 both off the plate. Lind will be next. Lind has gone 0 for 3. Blue Jays have just 6 hits. 3 of those hits have left the yard. Bautista strikes out. That's 4 strikeouts for Betances since coming into the game.
He is averaging 13 strikeouts per 9 innings, the best mark in the major leagues, and you can see his arsenal of stuff. 3 and 2, and he's not afraid to throw the breaking ball. Fooling a very hot hitter right now in Bautista for another strikeout. It's 120 strikeouts now on the season for Betances.
Lind rips it to left. We mentioned Adam Lind has the best batting average in baseball against right-handed pitchers, and it doesn't make any difference how hard you throw. Kevin Pillar will take over as a pinch runner.
That's a very valuable add-on run right there in Pillar. So a little bit more speed. Maybe he can steal a base.
Edwin Encarnacion waves at that first pitch breaking ball. Goodwin with 28 home runs, one behind Bautista for the team lead. No swing, according to first base umpire Ben May. Ball and a strike to Edwin Encarnacion. It's a 4-3 Blue Jays lead. Jays trying to win the series against Joe Girardi's Yankees. They're also trying to finish up August on a positive note. Coming into this game 9-19 in August. Check that, 8-17 in August. This would be their 9th win in the month of August.
Try to get some momentum heading into September. Every game from here on out important.
Ball is hit to right. Beltran is there. The inning is over. So we will go to the 9th. Casey Janssen coming out of the bullpen, trying to wrap it up for Jay Happ. Brent Gardner is a single shy of the cycle. We'll wrap it up after this ball game, and then there's more baseball. The Athletics and the Angels are wrapped up in a dogfight at the American League West, and they'll be following our game later on across 4 channels, so make sure you stay tuned. We are headed for the 9th. Casey Janssen into the ball game, his 41st appearance, looking for his 20th save of the season.
19 for 23 in saves for Casey Janssen. He's been a little bit off since the All-Star break. His ERA right around 8. Opponents hitting over 300 against Janssen. He has not pitched for the Blue Jays for 5 days when he lost that game against the Boston Red Sox. So he got a chance here to pick up that 20th save.
Stephen Drew takes a first pitch strike from Janssen. Drew is 0 for 3. Outside, it's 1-1. Tolleson backing up into the outfield. He's calling and he makes the catch. 1 down. Zealous Wheeler is the scheduled batter. Jacoby Ellsbury has come out on deck and he's going to pinch hit for Wheeler. Ellsbury sprained his ankle on Friday night. sliding into home in the 9th inning. He has not played since. Another good year for Ellsbury. 286 average with 14 homers.
And he's got 4 hits in his career against Jansen. Ellsbury represents some speed, but with that ankle sprain, slid into home plate, might not be able to run as well as he can.
One and 0 to Ellsbury. He gets jammed. Now it's 1-1.
Casey Jansen's bread and butter is that great ability to spot pitches, hit his spots around home plate, keep it on the edges. Against the left-handers, he's not afraid to backdoor a cutter, a curveball. Derek Jeter waiting for his turn.
Casey Jansen would like to see Jeter stay right where he is.
There. He is in the hole right now, waiting for his possible final at bat in Toronto.
Jeter has gone 1 for 4 with a first inning single. Casey Jansen's ahead, 1-2. Trying to drop that breaking ball on the outside corner. Another foul ball. Ball 3. Brett Gardner on deck. He has homered, tripled, and doubled. He is 3 for 4 this afternoon.
It's a big guy to get right here. He has used that backdoor cutter versus the lefties.
Fly ball. This is trouble. Base hit for Ellsbury. He's headed for second, and he'll get in there with a slide. Ellsbury got jammed and flared it just inside the right field foul line.
He got jammed with that cut fastball. And what an effort by the Blue Jays defense. You can see this ball is going to be trouble as soon as it leaves the bat. Tolleson can't get to it. Bautista can't get to it as Ellsbury slides in. Encarnacion, watch this play. Bounces off the turf in one motion. He grabs it with the bare hand, spins and fires accurately, and almost gets Ellsbury at second base.
Boy, you're right on the money. What an effort by all 3 of those defenders to make a play on it. Ellsbury is lifted for the pinch hitter, Ichiro Suzuki. Pinch runner, excuse me. So Ellsbury gets his first pinch hit of the season. And now Suzuki at second represents the tying run. Brett Gardner, a single shy of the cycle. First pitch strike. The last Yankee to hit for a cycle was Melky Cabrera. August 2nd of 2009, he did that against the Chicago White Sox. The pitcher in that game for the White Sox, Mark Burley. Ball on the strike.
There it is right there. I don't want to see it. Sorry, Brett. Don't want to see it because a base hit right here, the outfield. Suzuki's going to score. The go-ahead run is at the plate, so the outfield is a couple of steps deeper, especially in right field and the center field.
1-1 pitch. Jansen was determined not to deliver the pitch. He was going to freeze Suzuki at second. Ichiro doesn't run as often as he once did. He has 11 stolen bases in 13 attempts. Hot shot, gloved by Encarnacion. 2 down.
Shortstop number 2, Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter may be hitting for the last time here at Rogers Center. Blue Jays hope it is. 2 outs. Tying run at third. Jeter is 1 for 4. Jansen jumps ahead. Jeter is 1 for 17 against Casey Jansen. Little flare, and that's going to do it. Casey Jansen saves it. Jeter's last at bat ends the ball game, and the Blue Jays win the series.
What a ball game. The excitement about Jeter, his last trip into Toronto, but the Blue Jays steal the thunder with the home run power. Cabrera, Bautista, Encarnacion, Jay Happ with a great start. Brett Cecil with a clean inning, and Casey Jansen finishes it off as the Blue Jays take the series.
Well, the Blue Jays end up August on a good note. They win this series. Derek Jeter, his farewell to the Blue Jays. Jansen picks up his 20th save. Jeter finishes up his career at Rogers Center 1 for 5. There's more baseball coming up, but first let's check in with Blue Jays Central. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. We'll see you Tuesday night from St. Pete.